Captain's log, day 1. I'm just kidding. I mean, it is day 1 for me anyway, but I'm decidedly not the captain. I don't know, junior relational supposition officer's log doesn't have the same flair. I just sat through 5 hours of crucially important yet entirely boring orientation material, with a half-hour break for dinner, of course, and I'd really rather be unconscious right now, but I'm supposed to record my entire life into this thing, in case I suddenly develop amnesia and forget who I am. Yeah, I'm laughing now, but apparently that's a real thing. Well, that thoroughly murdered my already half-dead mood. To begin, wait up. So, putting aside potentially life-saving preparations to complain for a minute, I'm pretty sure they took my roommate application form, carefully read through my responses, and threw it out of an airlock because what in the... that's not a positive outlook. Okay, let me try that again. My roommate, Enna, is of a different disposition than me. She's perky and cheerful, and I say this in a way that is not comparable whatsoever to a grumpy hermit, but whatever. I'll give her a chance, I guess. I've had worse. Anyway, dear Enna just burst into our room, and I told her I was going to be doing this recording crap to grab her towel because she forgot to bring it to the exercise room. The question of why she couldn't just use one of the ones there will remain a puzzle for generations to come. Minutes up, back to important things. Basic details would probably be a good place to start. Like, my name. It's Mel Woods. Or Melody Woods, if you've gotten access to my birth records. I was born 17 years ago on a privately owned live-in spacecraft from which I permanently departed 8 years later. That should be enough to jog my memory. If not, oh well. Oh, and hypothetical me, you may notice you can sorta know things you logically shouldn't be able to. That's because you've got extrasensory perception. Don't get too excited, it's pretty low level. Just enough to be kinda fun, or kinda annoying, depending on circumstances. Oh yeah, and just enough to get me this job. Somehow. I mean, more and more cases of ESP are being reported every year, and it's still treated like this super special thing. They probably could have found someone with a higher level, and definitely someone with more training. Not just in sensory-related activities in general, really, but I'm not complaining. Well, actually I am a little bit, so I'm going to stop. My job description was a laugh. It was something like, assist fellow relational officers through use of abilities. Heard this line of work is dangerous, though. Maybe due to extreme atmospheric non-specificity. Whatever the cause, it'll be interesting. I just want to go to sleep, but I have to get into the habit of recording my entire day. Why? Why would I ever have to go back and listen to my whole day being described in my own droning voice? What possible circumstances would require such action? Why do I bother asking questions I'll never get the answers to? Anyway, I can't nod off before Enna gets back. I'm not going to have her walking around in here while I'm asleep. That's just unnerving. So here goes. This morning, my eyes opened to the same patch of sickeningly furry blue-gray mold they've been opening to for 4 days. I imitated the rental clock in increasingly childish tones until it got the hint and shut off, and threw the slightly damp sheets to the side of the bed where they slowly slid to the slightly damper carpet. I left that hellhole and took off for the nearest transit station, eyes dead forward, figuratively and literally not looking back at the Red Glow Motel, really seriously hoping I'd never have to look at it again. And you know what? So far, so good on that. Let's see how the rest of my life goes. In all, I took a walk to a bus stop, a bus to a spaceport, a little tram thing to the actual dock, and a shuttle to Hathor 61 because that's efficiency. That's the outcome of evolved society. You know what? Walks and buses and trams are boring. I sat on my ass for several hours. Yay, who cares? But then came the shuttle ride, the first taste of my new home. 14 people crammed into a retro-styled pod that could comfortably seat at best a dozen. All Hathor 61 recruits who, like me, were staying on Europa having heard about the spiffy job opportunity. Or, I shudder to think, actual denizens of Europa. You know, who am I to judge? I'm sure most Crystal Innocence dealers are lovely, intelligent, well-rounded individuals. Honestly, I think most of the people there were for defensive division. It's a good job. Good money, housing, food, community. You don't really need any qualifications, just be in shape, but hope they weren't leaving a big family behind. Anyway, after 3 hours of panicked assumptions and expectations, we docked on Hathor. The deeply felt bond forged by eye contact for up to 3 seconds was split forever as we trudged off to the cafeterias, deliberately avoiding taking the same routes. I went to the largest cafeteria in hopes of being seen by the fewest people. Took a while to get there. The actual distance from the main dock to that cafeteria is about a kilometer. It's a pretty massive spaceship. It's gonna be interesting trying to find my way around. Once I got to the cafeteria, it was pretty easy to see who'd been there for a while and who was a freshie like me. You've never seen such a scramble for one-seat tables. I don't know what I ate. Oh, not because I don't remember. I just genuinely have no idea what the hell it was. I'd say it would be best described as edible, I hope. Sure beat my breakfast. And then I was briefed. For 5 hours, minus half of one for dinner, which was suspiciously similar to lunch. I was informed of a lot of important things. Lots. All very important to know. Luckily, most of it was captured on the e-graph given to me, otherwise... After my memorable briefing was over, yet another info pack was downloaded for me. This one had directions on how to get to my new room, information about it, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and a mini profile on the person I'm now living with. Enna Sanders, a girl my age in medical division, so naturally I disliked her. And then I thought, that's ridiculous. I'm stuck with this person. I shouldn't dismiss her off the bat because most medical officers I've met are pricks, and I took my one suitcase to my room. I beat her there because, well, one suitcase doesn't take that much time. And I sat on my bed thinking about the time I had gone to a beach on some moon that was closed to the public, and while distracted by some strangely colored birds, a wave smacked me in the face and chest simultaneously, and I went under, and I was pulled from the shore by the riptide and almost drowned. And I was also thinking about how that experience is in no way relatable to my current situation. Not at all. And then she walked in. And she put her stuff down and stretched her back and shoulders and walked right up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Enna," like I hadn't read the info pack or something. And so I panicked, not knowing what to do in a situation like that, and responded, "Hey, I'm Mel." And then she said, "You're relational division, right? I'm medical," clearly demonstrating her knowledge of how relevant information was relayed to us. I may have grunted in response, but she apparently took as her cue to start talking about how exciting it was she got a job, how cool it is to be in space. Woman, I've been in space pretty much my whole life. You know what space is? The lack of stuff. Real exciting. And then she made some comment about keeping in shape and popped off to the exercise room. And that kind of leads me back to the beginning of this recording. Well, giving her a chance really went well. Oh, crap. Did they just put us together because we're the only under 20s on the ship? If we're the only two teens, I'm going to run away to an undeveloped asteroid and raise lettuce in a terrarium. Maybe it's my ESP telling me something's up about her. Maybe she's just an awful person. Maybe I'm just overly harsh and judgmental. I'm going with the ESP thing. There's just something weird about her, something that sets her apart from all the other people I dislike. She's just so... Guess who walked in? Again. Before she could try to strike up a conversation, I gave an excuse and left. I say an excuse because I can't be sure of what I actually said. The word urgent may have been involved, possibly also tax evasion? I'm now in some sufficiently abandoned-looking hallway crouched in a corner. This'll be interesting to explain to whoever happens upon me. I'll say I'm doing perspective work on mice on 17th century galleys. Yeah, that seems reasonable. It's not entirely impossible that I'll pass out before I can explain anything to anyone, and now that I've successfully isolated myself, my one means of rest, all the more likely. I should head back. This is childish. I'll face her and converse with her and politely remind her that while time of day is an entirely artificial concept on a spaceship, it's now the middle of the night! Ish! And that I would like to go to sleep. That's what I'll do. Yep, I'll do that. As soon as I figure out how I got here. This hallway goes on for a pretty long time in both directions. And there aren't actually any doors. Now that my mind is wrapped around the subject, why, for what conceivable reason, is there a dark, abandoned hallway on a spaceship? Shouldn't every square meter be used fully to minimize costs? I mean, it's alarming that I don't actually remember how I arrived in this location, but the real concern is inefficiency. I don't remember being briefed on any long, dark, and possibly malicious hallways. I mean, I don't really remember being briefed on anything in particular, but I feel this would have stood out. Oh. There's something very, very not right here. I just got... It's kind of like flashing red lights in my brain reading, "Get out of there." My ESP usually only happens around people, sometimes other animals, but it's pretty clear it's happening now. I should probably run. I ran for a good 10 minutes just down the hallway, not that you'd be able to tell. It's all identical, and the bad feeling, still here. Except it's darker. It's really hard to make out the few details that exist. Well, won't this make a great story for the freshies? Once there was a woman who lived aboard this very spaceship. On her first shitting day, she got pissy at her annoying roommate and ran off, only to get lost in the impossibly long hallway that exists aboard this ship for some reason. She died of dehydration. Or fatigue, at the rate I'm going. Some say she remains aboard the ship to this day, bitching and complaining at all she comes across. Actually, forget dehydration or fatigue. If I die here, it's going to be because of whatever's causing my ESP to act up this much. Last time I was even close to this, I barely made it off that rock intact. My clothes weren't so lucky. So what really makes you think, what is up with this hallway? Oh. Of course it's not the hallway. Hallways can't be malevolent. The problem is whoever's in the hall with me. I'm in near complete darkness. I can't see my hand in front of me. There's no way I'd be able to see someone standing right next to me. Did they follow me? The whole time I was running? Why? Retin paranoia is not going to help me. Yes, there is an extremely malicious person or being somewhere near me at this moment, and yes, I am utterly trapped, stripped of my ability to see, and without any weapons, but that's no reason to panic. I'm okay at fist fights, but I usually rely on my ability to get out of any given situation. There's nothing... I can't... Fine. Nothing much I can do, might as well take advantage of the one thing I can. I'll leave this recording, I guess, just in case. Hey! Whatever's in here with me, whatever, whoever you are, face me instead of hiding! I know you're here, willing to bet you know why I know that, so let's quit the crap and just... It's getting a little lighter now. I can't... Damn, my eyes hurt. The light's coming from... Well, there's a person, or a person-shaped thing. I can't see it very well. What is that? No idea if it's going to be heard on this recording. No idea if anyone will find this. There's a really freaking loud sound coming from that figure, or something. I don't know. Oh, fantastic. Now it's approaching. The sound's louder now. I can barely... This is it. Whatever's gonna happen will happen. I'm back. I'm okay. Anna's asleep, so I'm doing my best to be quiet. The figure... Honestly, I'm still trying to work through what happened. I guess that's what this audio safe's for, huh? It walked toward me, and I guess I just figured better to concentrate than trying to record everything that's happening. Also, I could barely hear myself talk, so... The light was too bright to make out any details of the figure. Or maybe it was a fairly average amount of light. My eyes were too strained to process. I braced myself for a fight, because obviously the glowing, malicious, stalking figure was going to be in for a round of fisticuffs. It walked slowly, just to draw the whole thing out. The light was weird. I could see it, but it wasn't hot or cold. No extra sense readings on it. From the light, the figure was still causing those to go mental. It stopped about 4 steps away from me. Tears were streaming down my face, the product of combined extreme photon assault and adrenaline coursing through my body like grease in a water slide. I felt a searing pain on both my wrists. It had reached out and grabbed me. The pain... The only way I can describe it is being burned without the heat. I fought back, or tried. My legs didn't meet anything. I was too far away for a headbutt, and my fists weren't going anywhere. Then it started pulling, and my options were follow or risk having my arms ripped off, so it led me through the wall. Must have. There was nowhere else to go. We were in kind of a tunnel, and the light was still bright, but concentrated? Didn't light up the surroundings at all. Felt like my hands were going to tear clean off. After several minutes of this, the light grew more intense. I had to shut my eyes, and then I opened them, and I was back. Here. The figure was gone, my wrists were hurting, still hurt, like a son of a whore. I have no idea what that thing was. I ain't been around for too long, but I have seen some bullshit. That's the first time I've seen anything like that. I got an unmistakably bad intention vibe from it, but it helped me. Does it live here? On the ship? That'll really help me sleep easy. Sleep. That was all I wanted, isn't it? Now I'm so wired, don't even know if I'll be able to. Might as well try, though. I don't know if I'll ever know what in the freakish shit happened tonight. The fun part is, it's all still here, in this massive place where I live and am trapped. I might have to figure it out eventually, but that and anything related will just have to wait. In a couple hours, I will be getting up. I will be eating breakfast, a real breakfast, and I will be relationally supposing. So here's to the morning, I guess. Here's to second days being better than first ones. Until next time.